Hello Dungaree family, it's Emily again, and I'm starting a series of little small talks where I discuss things that I'm learning and things to do with family and relationships, like my thoughts and struggles and things that how I overcome things. I did a little survey on Twitter and the vote was for mom guilt. So there were 3 topics to choose between. One was inner confidence and just sticking with your guns if you know and believe in something. I wanted to also talk about self-love versus self-sacrifice. Anyway, today is mom guilt. I thought, okay, I wanted to talk about this because I'm sure that a lot of other moms struggle with feeling like they're not quite living up to what their children need and not being exactly 100% there for them. Basically, before I had children, I had these dreams of being an amazing mom and a vision of how I was going to homeschool them and participate with them, and I was going to be this light in their lives. I had ideas of, making a beautiful garden with them and do all these practical projects with them that's going to help them develop and help them learn about life. And that's not to say I won't ever do those things, but now that I am a mom, it's real and it's much more challenging on a practical level to maintain that energy and that enthusiasm when you have to deal with so many down-to-earth everyday routine things. And obviously as they get older they become more independent, but right now my children are 4 years and under, so I have to do most of the things for them still. First of all, I'm not complaining. I love my children. I wouldn't want anyone else to do these things for me. I believe it's a bonding experience, even doing those mundane or less pleasant things. I feel honored to be able to do that for them. But just bringing it back to my vision and the dreams, I feel disappointed in myself because it's not at all like that. I feel condemned because I know I could make it happen, but I know I must also just accept, I'm just a human. Every day I see it as a new opportunity to try something new with my children, to do something that they would really enjoy, because often what happens is you get good days and bad days. And a lot of the time you just have very ordinary days. So the bad days will end up being me shouting at them and being annoyed at them, and that really, obviously it just feels terrible and it creates this unpleasant atmosphere in the home. And even while I'm doing it, I know this is not what I want to be. I don't want to be this kind of mom. I have those thoughts, and then I get amazing days where the children are beautiful little sunshines and we laugh and we do great things together and everything just goes so smoothly. And then of course the normal days where we get everything done and it's neither here nor there. Taking care of the children, it's a very gentle thing, but it's also very tiring. I'm a creative person, but when my energy is drained, my creativity is like ground zero, and that's when I just don't have what it takes to, or just feels like I don't have what it takes to be the creative mom I want to be. So yes, I am being a bit too romantic about motherhood. Motherhood is beautiful in all the simple mundane things that you do. It's not flashy, it's not glamorous, but spending time with your child and taking care of their needs is a bonding experience, and it's also very good for us to, or for me at least, to humble myself and serve. Like serving is such a underrated thing these days, but serving is so good for us, and it's obviously so good for your children to look out for their needs. I have to remind myself of those things, just remind myself that these are important things. I'm raising the next generation. Even if I don't get onto projects or activities that I dreamed of, I'm making the moments count that I do spend with them. and just treasuring the fact that they need me now because in the back of my mind I know as they get older they're going to become more and more independent. Secondly, I realized that these ideals I have are dreams. Dreams are hard work. They're not romantic. Most of the time, the end result is romantic, but the actual process of doing it is completely unromantic. So often what happens is I plan a activity or something that I believe is going to be good for our relationship and it's going to stimulate them and they're going to learn things, and then they're not really interested. And I realize that I'm focusing on the wrong things. I fall into this performance mode as a mom instead of just simply doing it and seeing what happens. It's not so much about how good of a mom I am. It's more about being together. It's relationship. As humans, we are so good at looking after ourselves. It could do with looking after other people a bit more. Another thing that's also really helped me is arranging babysitting for the other children and then taking one out with me, even if I'm just going shopping. I find I actually learn something about the child that I didn't learn about them in the group context. So that one-on-one time is so special. Even if you don't have time to just switch off from everything else, find ways to involve them with what you're doing. I find my children actually just love that. They love to be part of my work, like my endeavors and things that I'm interested in. Not because they're interested in it, but because they appreciate being involved in something that's apparently important, because I'm doing it, to them it looks important. I remember, I do have memories of being a child and just those golden moments of feeling important to my parents. And it wasn't so much the actual activity, it was the fact that they were taking this trouble for me. It was about me. And through doing all these things together, the child develops a connection with you, you develop one with them. And lastly, I just have to remind myself that I'm doing so many things well. I have to keep going back and pinpointing to myself things that I'm doing well. What am I doing? Instead of thinking of what I'm not doing. Because the moment you start cultivating that guilt, and that might sound surprising to you, cultivating the guilt, but yes, I don't know how you work, but I work like that. The moment I feel the guilt, I start latching other things onto it that's also part of my shortcomings as a mom. So it's so important to manage that guilt and first find out where it's coming from, but then also counterbalance it with the things that you actually are doing right. And that's where I've come, as far as I've come with dealing with these feelings as a mom. And I would be very interested to hear what goes through your mind, and if there are certain things you found that helped to restore that connection, let me know in the comments. So these ones are being uploaded every Friday. You will find a short 7-minute talk on relevant topics of today's time, or my motherhood journeys and sort of self-development topics that I'm learning about. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.